name is Lukwagorigan from Musita Logistics. I'm glad to take you through Incoterms. Incoterms are trade terms that stipulate the rights and responsibilities of a buyer and a seller under international trade. The basis for choosing the right Incoterm requires a technical know-how that can lead to the right negotiations between the buyer and the seller. At Musita, this is how we guide our clients in choosing a suitable Incoterm to use. But first, let us look at the history of Incoterms. The first set of Incoterms were published in the year of 1936, and since then have been revolving to the current set that we have, that is Incoterm 2020. Looking at Incoterm 2020, we are going to unveil more about the various Incoterms that are suitable for our clients at Musita. When goods move from one party to another, there are always risks and obligations that each party under the agreed Incoterm has to fulfill. Let's say an importer engages in international trade. The goods have to move in several hands to make sure that they reach him or her. And this can result into several risks at every stage. There are various parties that are engaged to make sure that the goods reach the importer. For example, the shipping line, the loaders, the transporters, and many others. But the basis that each time goods move from one party to another, they move with the risk. At this juncture, let us dive into the Incoterms under Incoterm 2020. The first Incoterm, that is Ex-Works, we shall attach a specific location to it. Let's say a facility, a factory of the supplier. It could be a named place. Likewise, to all the other Incoterms, you have to specify a specific location to which the responsibilities are to switch from the buyer to the seller. Looking at Incoterms 2020, we are going to begin with Ex-Works. Now, this Incoterm Ex-Works, we shall attach a named place, that is the supplier's factory, warehouse, anywhere around the world. Our clients, like the new importers, always find it hard when they choose this Incoterm. Why? This is because most of the responsibilities are for the buyer. So if you choose this Incoterm, keep in mind that you will have to put very many responsibilities from the side of the exporter, the other side. You will have even to go there. For example, if you are a new importer here in Uganda and you choose Incoterm Ex-Works, you will have to go to the location that is named, let's say, Ex-Works warehouse in China. So you'll have to go there and pick the goods personally. Likewise, to the seller, the responsibilities of the seller are only two. That is to prepare the goods, package them as said, and to provide all the necessary documents detailing the goods. That could be the packing list, invoice, plus any other regulatory documents that may be needed. Looking at pre-carrier, the second Incoterm, the seller's responsibilities go further to provide pre-carriage. The buyer then takes on the responsibilities of offering main carriage, to do on carriage, and import clearance at the end of the buyer. The third Incoterm, that is free alongside ship. This is one of the Incoterms that lies in the second category, that is for only water transportation. Under this Incoterm, the seller's responsibilities go further to do pre-carriage into the terminal. That could be, for example, if the goods are coming from China, it could be Qingdao. And from that point, the buyer takes on to do the loading of the cargo onto the vessel, to do the main carriage, the on carriage, and also to do the import clearance at the destination point. The next Incoterm, that is free on board. And in this Incoterm, the seller takes another step further to load the goods onto the vessel. Looking at the responsibilities back from the first Incoterm, that is ex-works, pre-carrier, and alongside ship, the seller goes further to load the goods onto the vessel, and at that point, the buyer takes on the responsibilities of doing the main carriage, the on carriage, and import clearance at the destination point. And in the next Incoterm, that is cost and freight, the seller has the responsibility of all the other Incoterms that we mentioned earlier, but goes ahead to do more than that. That is pre-carriage, the on carriage, to do the export clearance, and further pay for the voyage. From that point on, the buyer takes on the responsibility of doing the on carriage and the import clearance at the destination point. Looking at CIF, that is cost, insurance, and freight, the seller's obligations are to do the pre-carriage, the main carriage, and go ahead to offer insurance cover on behalf of the buyer. At that point, the buyer goes ahead and does the on carriage, the import clearance at the destination point. Looking at carriage paid to, this Incoterm cuts across all modes of transportation, where the seller's obligations are to do the pre-carriage, the main carriage, the on carriage, and the export clearance. Likewise, the buyer's obligations are to do the on carriage and import clearance at the destination point. Looking at carriage and insurance paid to, the seller goes further to offer insurance services on behalf of the buyer. And from that point, the buyer takes on the obligations of the on carriage and import clearance at the destination point. Now looking at DAP, that is delivered at place, the seller has the responsibility of pre-carriage, on carriage, main carriage, and export clearance to the destination country of the buyer. The buyer's responsibilities are to do customs clearance and to offload the goods in the destination country. Looking at delivered at place unloaded, this Incoterm replaced delivered at terminal, whereby the seller's responsibilities are to do the pre-carriage, the main carriage, the on carriage, and export clearance. Furthermore, the seller goes ahead to do the offloading of the cargo at the buyer's premises. The buyer's responsibility is only to do the import clearance at the destination point. Now looking at DDP, that is delivered duty paid, the seller's obligations are to do the pre-carriage, the main carriage, on carriage, export clearance, import clearance, and further to offload the goods at the premises of the buyer. Our dear viewers, we hope that this information has provided you with enough insight in choosing the right Incoterm. For more information, you are welcome to visit us at our offices at Fresh Mall, Bugolobi, offices in Mombasa, Malaba. You are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment,